Hello, everybody. Welcome to Justice Served Daily. This is my first attempt to try to do some videos and go live for my interest in true crime. And today I want to share information on the dangers of social media as it relates to the Delphi case. So we will be going through that presentation, and I appreciate you being here. So we'll go ahead and get started. And forgive me for weird transitions as I learn how to use this system. So we're going to be covering the Delphi murders as it relates to that the Indiana State Police expands their list of social media that was connected to the Delphi murder case. So we'll be going through each of that. Let me get off this slide, maybe. Hopefully. There we go. So we're going to be going through the Keegan Klein and Tony Klein search warrant that was served on February 25th of 2017. Just 15 days after the murder of the girls. And this is information that was all obtained in the probable cause affidavit and information that was obtained by the murder sheet, which is great. You need to listen to their podcast if you haven't. And as you see, the state of Indiana, with the Indiana State Police, went out with the FBI, and you can see what charges that Keegan Klein ended up being charged with of child solicitation, exploitation, possession of child pornography. And there's 30 counts total, one of those including the obstruction of justice. So this information goes off of this particular probable cause affidavit. And we're going to do it a little bit more visual. I'm a visual person. So why did they do the search warrant? The FBI had sent information to the Indiana State Police Cybercrimes Unit that an adult male was soliciting female juveniles utilizing social media platforms, Snapchat and Instagram, and that the adult male was using the username Anthony Shots and Emily Ann 45. So I'm sure everybody's familiar and used to seeing this image to the left. That profile photo was used by Keegan Klein of a gentleman who was actually a police officer in Canada, who was also a model. And he used that with the name Anthony Shots. Keegan Klein, the creator of that, is to your right. And he not only created an Emily Shots or an Anthony Shots, but also an Emily Ann 45. So when they did the search warrant, they had multiple electronic devices that they seized during that warrant on the 25th. So Keegan had an Apple iPhone 3, an Apple iPhone 4, the Samsung Galaxy S4 and S5, and then a Nextbook tablet and an iPod Touch. But Keegan could not find his current phone, which was an Apple iPhone C. He turned it in 2 days later on February 27th of 2017. So let's go through what they found. On the Apple iPhone 4, which was named Keegan's phone, it was last utilized on approximately November 11th of 2016. Keegan would have been 22 years old at the time. Access to this phone was protected with a PIN code, and there were numerous usernames and email addresses located on the phone. So the user of the device communicated with female teens and shared media files depicting CSAM, which, if you're not familiar with that term, it's called child sex abuse materials, but that's how we'll refer to it moving forward. The user also portrayed themselves as a female teen using the name Emily Ann 45. So many of the communications were recovered from Kik, Messenger, and the Snapchat. So the media artifacts that were found in the device, there were multiple CSAM and files which the user saved to the device or shared or received. And there were CSAM files that depicted female children approximately 12 to 17 years of age. There were files located which depicted children between the approximate ages of 3 and 11 showing sexual assault by an adult or SA. There were also still images showing possible drugs and images showing Keegan with a black handgun. So on May 14th of 2016, there was a discussion that involved the user of the iPhone and another party sharing an actual Dropbox public link containing the CSAM and the media files. And the user on the iPhone 4 portrayed themselves as Emily Ann 45. So the user had used Emily Ann identity in 2015, also on the Samsung Galaxy S4 device. So this is where he's going on and he's pretending to talk to little girls, telling them that he is a little girl as well. So the Apple iPhone 3G was named Keggy and was utilized approximately May 23rd of 2015. Keegan would have been 20. It was secured with a PIN code. And there were, again, numerous usernames and email addresses. Multiple still images depicting females posing nude and partially nude, and other images were found. And the ages of the females were indeterminate. Multiple user saved screen captures of conversations were found. In one screen capture, the sender specifically identified the receiver as Keegan. The user saved over 200 still images to the device, which contained location data that was embedded into the file. So approximately 27 of the still images depicted females who appeared to be at least 14 years of age or older. And of those 27 images, they were geolocated in Indiana. So the cities were Bunker Hill, Galveston, Indianapolis, Kokomo, Monterey, and Royal Center. So if we want to know how the geolocation tracking is, that just refers to the technology like in GPS or your IP addresses to identify and track the whereabouts of the electronic devices. And then those devices are often, carried with you. And that is used to be able to track the movements and location of people and surveillance. So the Samsung Galaxy S5 iPhone was named Klein Photography and was factory reset on approximately February 23rd of 2017. Keegan would have been, or I'm sorry, that's right. Keegan on 2017, Klein Photography was the name for this particular device. Keegan would have been 22, and the device was not secured with a password or PIN code. And there were numerous usernames and email addresses. Again, we see that theme all the way through. There were some chat messages recovered from the device, and they were from MeetMe, Facebook, Messenger, and Snapchat. And conversations that took place, don't transition on me yet, between February 23rd and 2017 and February 25th of 2017 discussed meeting people in Las Vegas and prostitution. And remember, that's when Keegan took off to Vegas soon after. So then we go to the Samsung Galaxy S4. And let me see here. It looks like we may be having trouble with the slides. Let me go out and look and see where we are and check what I see. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me see. All right, chat, let me know. Help me out. Did it ever come through at all on the slides? Or do I need to go from beginning? Well, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go back. Sorry about that. I wondered if they would go through. Make sure that everybody can see each slide. Let's see if I do it this way, if that works better. Looks like it shows up. Okay, sorry. All right, I'm going to just do it with the slide sitting to the side, so maybe that helps it out. Thank you, chat, for letting me know. Sorry about that. All right, so this is our coverage for the search warrant, the reason, the Snapchat, Instagram. This is our Anthony Schatz profile and Keegan Klein. And we do not have a photo of Emily Ann 45, by the way. This is our multiple electronic devices. So this is the list of all the devices that I referred to as them collecting, which is a lot. I don't know how many people have that many devices sitting around, but obviously he does. And this is the famous device that he could not find at his house, which I call BS, but whatever. And then 2 days, and we'll get more into that detail. So the iPhone 4 that we referred to is the one with the Kick and the Snapchat. And that's the Keegan iPhone. That's where we found the device with CSAM materials that had ages 12 to 17. And even more disgusting were children between the ages of 3 and 11, was showing sexual assault by an adult. There were also drugs and a handgun shown. And that there was use of a drop box which is where you can save files and photos and that with other people. And then we have where we noticed in this phone and in the Galaxy S4 device that Emily Ann was being used to speak to girls, stating he was basically saying he's a girl. So the Apple iPhone 3G is the one that was named Keggy, and he was 20. There was a secured PIN code, and there were various usernames and email addresses, which is the case with all of those. And the user saved over 200 still images to the device, and they appeared to be 14 and older. And that's where the geographical information was shared, that we know that basically these images were in locations in Indiana that are close by to where he lives. So that's scary. And when we talk more about the app, you'll know why that is so scary. So the Samsung S5 phone was named Klein Photography. And it was factory reset on February 23rd of 2017. Keegan would have been 22. It was secured with the password and PIN code, or not secured with the password and PIN code this time. There were, again, usernames and email addresses. Some of the chat messages recovered from this device were using Meet Me, Facebook Messenger, and Snapchat conversations. And those are the ones that took place between the 23rd and 25th of 2017. And talking to somebody about meeting in Vegas and prostitution. He's a winner, isn't he? So the Samsung Galaxy S4 was named Samsung SGH1337. It was used approximately June 25th. It was powered on multiple days after that date, but it wasn't utilized on those days. So Keegan was 21 then. They point these out just because they show that he's over the age of 18. And the device was secured by a swipe pattern and a PIN code. And there were numerous usernames and email addresses. Excuse me. There were chat conversations recovered from the device. Several conversations appeared to be with female teens, or female teen 12 to 13 years old. The user had two profiles, Keegan Klein and Emily Ann. Keegan's stepsister is how he was identifying this Emily Ann. And he communicated with female teens. The conversations were found on the device where Emily Ann discussed how she had had sex with Keegan and his father at the same time. There were multiple CSAM and media files found to the device. And the way the files were named indicated the images were captured by screenshot and or received from Snapchat or Skype. And many of the CSAM files depicting the female children were ages between 12 and 17, posing nude, partially nude, or performing SA. More still images depicting possible drugs and drug paraphernalia were found on the device as well. So next we have the Nextbook Premium tablet. This device's name is unknown, was last utilized on March 9th of 2016. Keegan would have been 21. It wasn't secured with a password or PIN. Again, numerous email addresses and usernames on the device. There were numerous chat conversations recovered on the device, and the user of the device used multiple communication platforms. So as you can see, it was Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Kik, Messenger, MeetMe.com, Skype, and Snapchat. The user of this device initiated conversations over on Facebook Messenger and asked and/or suggested that the conversation would be moved over to Kik Messenger or Snapchat. And the purpose for that is you start communicating with somebody there, that disappears. So Apple iTouch, iPod iTouch, which, by the way, has anybody wondered why he could afford all these devices if he wasn't working? I'm just asking. This device was named Keegan. It was last utilized on May 30th of 2015. 21 years of age at the time he would have been. It was secured with a PIN code. Guess what? Multiple usernames and emails. And there were multiple still images found on the device depicting females posing nude and performing SA. The ages of the females were indeterminate. 4 still images of female teens on the device contained location data embedded into the file, and those locations of the images were from Hammond and Royal Center, Indiana. So now we go to the Apple iPhone 5C. This phone was named Keegan's phone, and the phone he turned in to the Indiana State Police. So the phone was last utilized on February 27th of 2017. Keegan would have been 22. The device was secured with a PIN, numerous usernames and emails. And the user of this device used Facebook, Instagram, MeetMe, Snapchat, and Twitter to communicate or chat. And much of the data from these applications were all deleted from the device. The examination found multiple still images saved to the device, and it had females posing nude, partially nude, or clothed, but the ages of the females were indeterminate. So on approximately February 27th, 2017, at 9:48 a.m., the user cleared or deleted the Safari web browser history and website data from the device. And during the examination, some information was recovered. So continuing with this device, while looking over the digital forensic report, the officer noticed the Apple iPhone 5C deleted multiple items off of the phone before turning it into law enforcement. Go figure. So on February 25th, when the search warrant was served on the Klines residence, and Keegan was interviewed and polygraphed on that date, on the 25th. So on February 27th, that's when Keegan Klein called the Indiana State Police to say, hey, guess what? I found my actual phone being used during 2016, the Apple iPhone 5C. So on February 25th of 2017, at approximately 7:30 p.m., Keegan's polygraph was concluded, and then they transferred him back to his house. And the digital forensic report showed that after he gets back to his house, at 9:19 p.m., the user of the iPhone 5C started to uninstall and delete apps from the phone. And approximately at 9:19 p.m., the user uninstalled and deleted Snapchat. At approximately 10:14 p.m., the user uninstalled and deleted Instagram from the phone. So the next day, on the 26th at 1:12 p.m., the user uninstalled and deleted Meet Me from the phone. So the user did put Snapchat back on the device on February 27th at 1:28 p.m., but then again uninstalled it and deleted it from the phone. Keegan admitted to using these applications to chat with underage girls, and the evidence that was contained in the applications were destroyed when he deleted them from the device before turning it in to law enforcement. So everything he would have had current during the murders, he kept that phone at home, said he couldn't find it, got home, 2 days worth of deleting and getting rid of stuff, and then turned it in. So that is why he has an obstruction for justice charge. So we move forward to what were the newest announcements and the new, never heard of social media. So the Indiana State Police expanded the list of social media that had been connected to the Delphi murder case. So investigators looking into the murders were started asking for information about another online profile that was linked to Anthony Schatz. On April 11th, the Indiana State Police said investigators are looking to expand the list of social media applications used by Anthony Schatz. And this is the social media account that has been connected to the Delphi murder case. So the Delphi Double Homicide Task Force said the profile was used on the social media platform that once went by the name of Yellow. It is now called Yubo. I sometimes will pronounce it Yubu, whichever. The task force is asking anyone who communicated with Anthony Schatz profile on the app to contact the task force. I do have the email address, Abby and Libby Tip at cacoshrf.com, or you can call 765-822-3535. So you also remember that in April 11th, the Indiana State Police were talking that they were going to France to contact the actual people of Yellow app. And I know the next question is, what is Yellow app? Well, let's look at what's going on with this. This is called Smart Social. It's safesmartsocial.com. And this was the warning that they came out with Yellow app. Uh-oh. Maybe. That's odd. Oh, I hope it works. So there we go.
Our kids have the Yellow app. What is the Yellow app? Well, Yellow app marketing says, make friends, swipe right to like, left to pass. New friend if it's a mutual like. Talk, have great conversations. What is the Yellow app? Well, nicknamed the Tinder for Snapchat and Tinder for teens, Yellow is an app that markets itself as a way to make new friends. Users who sign up for Yellow are prompted to provide their name, birthday, gender, and an answer to the question, are you looking for boys, girls, or both? Yellow users are then asked to take and upload a selfie and share their location with the app. Once a user is signed up, you are taught to swipe right if you like a profile, swipe left to pass a profile, or tap on the profile to see other pictures of that user. This is exactly how Tinder works, which is an adult dating website. If you swipe right on a profile and they swipe right on yours, then you become a match and can chat or share Instagram and Snapchat usernames. CBS says Tinder for teens is now a thing. Your kids can literally swipe right for an easy hookup to share nude photos or worse. So we just users to connect with your student on those platforms. Also, Yellow markets itself as a way to make friends, even though it's mostly used as a dating app. And this can be confusing for teens and tweens who are just getting access to Instagram and Snapchat and are really kind of new to online and digital safety. Also, the app doesn't work unless users give it access to their location. In addition, your hometown and age are displayed with your username throughout the app. This broadcasts your location even more. And Yellow makes it easy for predators to pose as younger students and get access to other users' personal Snapchat and Instagram accounts. What can parents do? Well, if your teen is using the Yellow app, have a discussion with them about the dangers of this app and urge them to delete it and maybe get one of the apps in our green zone. Explain to your child that sharing their information with strangers online is never safe. Be aware of all the app icons your student has on their phone and research the icons you don't know to become familiar with them. If your student is on Snapchat or Instagram, follow their accounts, but consider not engaging with their content so that they don't see that you're getting in their way, but rather you're just aware of what's going on. When you're ready for your student to have access to social media, visit the Parent App Guide page on safesmartsocial.com to learn how students can use social media in a positive way that won't hurt their online footprint or put them in danger. Also, consider joining Parent University to get a digital roadmap for your family online. This strategy will protect your kids today and protect their online identity for tomorrow. Click in the upper left to learn more about Parent.
Sorry about the stop in there. I was going to cough as I get over a cold, and I totally stopped it. So how does Yubo describe their own app? So Yubo is a French social live streaming platform. It celebrates the true essence of being young, according to their website. And the app creators boast that we inspire a new generation to be themselves. Yubo is a place where anyone can belong, feel safe, and hang out. Yubo launched in 2015 as the 12 app, and the app allows users to create video live streams with up to 10 friends. Our goal is to create a safe and fun virtual space by providing a trusted social platform for our community. Yubo makes it easy to connect with whomever or wherever. It's a space for all of us and all of you, the app website states. Yeah. So 12 app is an Android developer that has been active since 2015. And it only has one app that it's created. It only has what was Yellow app, now Yubo. So Yubo, formerly known as Yellow, was launched in 2015. You'll see various different dates that they post of when the app and stuff was started. It was created by Sacha Lazimi, Jeremy Aquat, and Arthur Patora. So in December of 2019, the app raised $12.3 million in a funding round led by French private equity firms like Iris Capital, Indivest Partners, Alvert Sweet Capital, and Village Global. The funds will be used to develop its technology and expand its global user base, it stated. Between 2015 and December of 2019, app users have created an estimated 2 billion friendships, along with exchanging more than 10 billion messages and launching 30 million live streams. In 2019, the startup had generated $10 million in revenue. So remember, the girls were murdered in 2017. The app started in 2015. So now here we are in 2020. Yubo recorded a significant rise in use due to the quarantined teenagers, with a 550% increase in time spent in video discussion groups. And Yubo doubled the number of new daily signups, which reached 30,000 per day in mid-April. Remember, the age group targeted for these kids and on the app, its age is 13 to 25. Although some of their materials say the age of 12. In October of 2020, the app had 40 million users worldwide, 60% of whom are Americans and Canadians. And to my surprise, I learned and found out that in September of 2020, Yubo established a U.S. headquarters in Jacksonville, Florida. At that same time, Yubo opened a new office in London. And in November of 2020, Yubo carries out a new fundraising plateau of $47.5 million from its historical investors and a new entrant of Gaia Capital Partners. The announced objectives is in particular to strengthening moderation and develop the Asian market. In addition, Jerry Murdoch, a co-founder of Insight Partners, who invested in Twitter and Snapchat, joined the board of directors of Yubo. And then in November of 2021, Yubo opened a second office in the U.S. in New York City. I want to point out that the way they make their money, and you can see this, I encourage you to look into it, is not by advertisements, because they don't sell advertisements. They sell, with the yellow app, was called powers, of special things that you could do if you paid. The app is free, but if you paid, you could have certain powers to be able to look up and watch and find people and see people, because the point of the app is that you can meet anyone. So I could say I'm a kid, like the explanations just shared, and I can be connected with other kids, and I can say I want to meet all the kids around me within 100 miles or anywhere in the United States. I could even pick a different country and be able to meet these kids. Why is that interesting when it has to do with the Delphi case? Because it automatically is connecting to your Snapchat and Instagram, and it is helping it locate where people are and how far away that they are and who's near me and who's nearby. And that's how they have access to your location. So let's look to the next. It's pretty shocking. So as you can tell, Yubo changed their name, right? They're no longer Yellow App. They did that after there was big reports in 2017. The Irish Times did a huge report about predators who were able to get hold of kids in Ireland. And so after a bunch of that was going on, the app had changed and went from Yellow App to the Yubo. So what did that change? Let's see. Sorry about the delay.
At 11, a common social media app has some parents worried about child exploitation.
CBS 46's Rob Hughes tells you what you need to know to keep your kids safe.
What I ended up learning was daunting. It's probably fairly inappropriate to talk about some of the things that I read.
Father of three, Travis Rawlings says he thought he had it all figured out when it came to monitoring his kids' phones.
We check what we use. We check Facebook. We check text messages. We're checking phone calls.
But last week, he says this unsuspecting little yellow icon got his attention.
There was an app called the Yubo, Y-U-B-O, that is just pinging the phone. And I didn't know what it was.
This is what it looks like in the App Store. The app is called Yubo. It markets itself as a social live streaming app, but others tout it as a Tinder for teens.
You can select things here and decide if you want to swipe left, swipe right. And this app is engaging kids to have secret, intimate lives.
Rawlings says his son started using Yubo around the same time his school went remote.
COVID has caused a lot of social breakdowns, if you will. Kids are meant to be social, and the only way they can communicate with other kids is through apps right now.
Kathleen Wynn, who runs an organization against sex trafficking, says Yubo is also increasingly becoming a breeding ground for child predators.
So it isn't harmless, it's harmful.
Citing a case in Florida last year where a 28-year-old man used it to meet a 13-year-old girl for sex.
Young people being preyed upon by older people to send inappropriate content.
Rawlings says what's also worrisome is most of the parents he speaks with have no clue what he's talking about.
Back to idle hands, we have teenagers at home with nothing to do, with technology available to ultimately have them secretly create relationships we have no influence over.
Rob Hughes, CBS 46 News.
So, yeah, the concern of that the app is able to company only has one app, has all of this millions and millions of dollars they're raising, then opens up out of France, which remember, the investigators for the Delphi case had to go to France to get information. And again, this app would allow people to see where people were, track where it is, automatically gave their phone number, automatically gave their locations, automatically connected to Snapchat and Instagram, automatically see how nearby somebody is, which is scary when you look at that the other platforms that he was using, the people he were talking to, that he had geolocations for, were all around him in the state of Indiana. I'm sure not the only ones, but the people in the state of Indiana that were nearby. And they're not making money off of a 12 or 13-year-old paying for an app. They're not going to pay for the app. The app is free. You only pay if you have the powers. Adults can join the app. As you saw in the video, adults can sign up for the app, but they can lie about their age. As you also saw, you could have your kid who's 12 try to go sign up for the app, and it says, oh, we don't allow anybody under 13. Well, the app, the yellow app at the time, would default and automatically change the child's age to the age of 13 to keep them in the app. So the people paying for these so-called powers were able to watch kids. It's very easy for predators to use this app. And why do we need an app for kids ages 13 to 25, which is still a huge range, to be trying to meet and hook up and be like a Tinder for kids? So here's some more red flags of showing, has things changed, or are there concerns with the Yubo, no longer called Yellow?
It's an app that's being dubbed Tinder for teens.
It's called Yubo, and it's raising a lot of concerns, not only for parents, but also for law enforcement.
Reporter Jacqueline Lee spoke with parents, teens, and police about the potential danger.
Like Tinder, this app allows you to swipe left and swipe right on people in your general vicinity. But kids as young as 13 are using it, and there are no safety measures.
Sorry, I accidentally pressed it. Oops. Come back to me. Sorry about that again.
It's an app that's being dubbed Tinder for teens.
It's called Yubo, and it's raising a lot of concerns, not only for parents, but also for law enforcement.
Reporter Jacqueline Lee spoke with parents, teens, and police about the potential danger.
Like Tinder, this app allows you to swipe left and swipe right on people in your general vicinity. But kids as young as 13 are using it, and there are no safety measures in place that prevent them from unknowingly talking to a child predator. The app boasts more than 15 million users around the world. Yubo, formerly known as Yellow. The app allows users to make new friends by swiping left or right.
You can just see pictures of people. This kid is 17. He's from Norfolk.
Lindsay McSweeney is only 13, and yeah, she can potentially match with a 17-year-old guy she's never met before.
These people are all old, and some pictures are weird.
The app also lets you join live chat rooms with up to 4 friends. And get this, an unlimited number of people can watch you.
I wouldn't feel comfortable people watching me, or, just being able to watch me without like me knowing who they are.
Aubrey Ashenhart is 14 and said using social media to meet people is the new norm.
I think it's cool that you can meet new people that live in your area. I think that you'd have to be able to know that there are people that aren't pretending to be someone they're not.
The app's creator said in its online parent safety guide that safety features include separating users that are under 18 years old. But when we went on it, nothing prevents you from making up your age and getting access to users under 18.
You have people from all over the world who now have access to your child, which is pretty scary if you think about that.
Virginia Beach Police Detective Christy Curtis said apps like these are dangerous, giving predators an easy way to talk to kids.
The victim base is absolutely there, and you no longer have to make physical contact or eye contact with your victims. They're there. They're waiting for you to come to them to tell you that they're pretty or that they're smart or that you want to be their friend.
And this very real possibility is what parent Michelle McSweeney is scared about.
These kids are impressionable. You could have someone asking them to make inappropriate videos even.
To prevent children from becoming victims, Detective Curtis said parents should pay attention to how their kids interact with social media.
So if your child is demanding privacy, that you cannot see their phone or that they have to be in a bathroom or a bedroom or alone while they're accessing their phone, that's a red flag.
But for these two teens, they said they prefer to meet and make friends the old-fashioned way, without using an app. In Virginia Beach, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
It's an app.
So that tells you that even with the name may have changed, but obviously the app itself has still concerns and still things that you need to be worried about. And I feel that this was one of the things that with the Delphi case, I really wanted to get information out there. And the Abby and Libby's family always talk about, taking that minute to help share about the case, which I will be doing with some great followers and ladies that I have met as a true crime follower, that we have followed the Delphi case for a long time. And we're going to talk deeper and stuff into that case and share it. But I do believe that some of the legacy of Abby and Libby is also by educating our kids about the dangers of social media, and that it's not their fault that they go into an app with other friends of theirs and somebody is pretending to be another kid, whether a boy or a girl, and talking to them. And they just need to know if something's going on, they need to be able to talk to a parent about it. So the first video I showed on the smartsocial.com, they have what they call app zones on their website. They have resources for parents and teachers, and it's to help identify good and bad apps. I found for some reason, on other pages that have been announcing about dangerous apps, for some reason, Yellow app or Yubo had not been on several other warnings for parents. And this smartsocial.com has 130 plus apps, and the Yellow app, Yubo, is on this list. It is in the red zone apps. They have everything qualified as either the green zone, gray zone, or red zone. And they also even share dangerous social media challenges that you can hear about, that kids end up getting hurt by doing it. So I think that's really important information to share and to get out there. When I tried to look further into more information about Yellow app and Yubo. In addition to finding out that they, for some reason, opened 2 locations with staff in the United States and London, that they were saying that they worked with NetMec, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I have made inquiries both to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children to find out from them in regards to what that relationship is and the awareness about it. And I was surprised to see that the Yubo app is listed as on the sponsor page of NetMec as a partner. So the obvious safest thing to do is to not have your kids on an app that's for dating and Tinder between the ages of 13 to meet up with somebody who is the age of 25. So, so let me switch this over. Maybe. There we go. And I hope this has been helpful. It's definitely eye-opening to me to have an app like that. My understanding is also that the Tinder app, at the same time this app came out, Tinder had more restrictions of what ages could actually use that app. And so this app creation happened to happen at the same time. So I will be doing more information with my lovely friends who have followed the case with me, who I've met with through following the Delphi case. We're going to be doing a special fill in the blanks of the timeline to insert information that we've now learned between the beginning and now. And I also plan on doing a show that will talk about the evolution of a child predator since back in the 70s, of when kidnapping and that cases like that from, the Children of the Snow. You talk about Epstein, you talk about these type of apps. The scary part of this is they don't have to kidnap your kids. They're contacting them through social media, and they're luring them out of your house and having them willingly go into their cars or meet them somewhere. And you know that from Catch a Predator, that we find people who are driving from very far away to possibly meet with your kids. So I am so glad that I see everybody. I'm now over here that I can actually see the chat. And I apologize for the not so perfect transitions, but I wasn't quite sure if the PowerPoint presentation would work when I got to the video parts and stuff like that. I think it slowed down a little bit on that. But yeah, I was pretty shocked myself. I'm also curious why, if there's offices in the United States, why did our investigators have to go all the way to France to get information? I would think since they have some headquarters here, you could find out more. So thank you all for being here. And hello to Amanda and Mama Bear, which she really is a Mama Bear because Amanda is hers. So, and Paige and Amy and Kelt and Kelt's daughter's in here. Wow, we've got like a family reunion. And I would really encourage, by the way, I've asked a lot of people, if your kids' schools have programs warning them about social media. And I would encourage you to go and try to share the information from that app in regards to it, because I found out lots of schools don't have programs. And that is pretty shocking. Very shocking. They have lots of resources and materials. So, well, thank you. We were here for about an hour, and we'll have some very much more engaging shows and information. But this is a show I really wanted to get out there and let the legacy of Abby and Livy, which hopefully we're close to an end coming soon, but let the legacy of them to bring safety to other kids by knowing about the dangers of social media. So, thank you, everybody. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. And please share to other family members. And I will also include links so that if you want to show the videos of anything, obviously the social media, dangerous social media one would be a pretty good one too. So thank you all very much. I appreciate you. And good night, everybody.